According to the National Electrical Code, receptacles in residential kitchens must be installed in specific locations to ensure safety and accessibility. For countertops, receptacles must be installed every 4 feet along the wall and no more than 2 feet above the countertop. If appliance garages are considered dedicated spaces for specific appliances, for example, a microwave or a coffee maker, then receptacles can be installed within each appliance garage to power those appliances. Now let's consider a counter that is 9 feet long. In this case, you would need to install 2 receptacles in the countertop. If each appliance garage already has a double duplex receptacle inside, then you would not need to install any additional receptacles in those areas. Here is a legal and recommended installation plan based on National Electrical Code guidelines. Firstly, install 1 receptacle in the countertop 1 foot from the left end of the counter. Secondly, install 1 receptacle in the countertop 1 foot from the right end of the counter. And for the appliance garages, utilize the double duplex receptacles within each appliance garage to power the appliances located there. No additional receptacles are required in these areas. This layout ensures that you have ample and accessible receptacles for countertop appliances and that all appliances have dedicated power sources. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific requirements for the placement of electrical receptacles in kitchens to ensure electrical safety and convenience. These requirements are primarily outlined in NEC Article 210.52c, which focuses on receptacle placement in dwelling units. The goal is to provide readily available power outlets for appliances and equipment used on countertops, peninsula countertops, and island countertops, minimizing the use of extension cords, which can be a safety hazard. Here is a breakdown of the key requirements for kitchen receptacle placement as dictated by the NEC. Firstly, wall counter spaces. Receptacle outlets must be installed so that no point along the wall line is more than 24 inches, or 2 feet, measured horizontally from a receptacle outlet. This means that receptacles should be placed no more than 4 feet apart along the wall. The intent is to ensure that any location along the countertop is within easy reach of a receptacle. Secondly, island and peninsula countertops. For island countertops with a length of 24 inches or more and a width of 12 inches or more, at least 1 receptacle outlet must be installed. For peninsula countertops, at least 1 receptacle outlet is required for a long dimension of 24 inches or more and a short dimension of 12 inches or more. The receptacle outlet should be located within the peninsula countertop surface. Thirdly, receptacle placement. Receptacles should be located no more than 20 inches above the countertop. This ensures easy access and prevents appliances from being placed too far from a power source. Receptacles are generally required to be mounted in a way that prevents items from falling behind the countertop. Fourthly, small appliance branch circuits. Kitchen countertop receptacles must be supplied by at least 220 ohm small appliance branch circuits. These circuits should serve only receptacle outlets located in the kitchen, pantry, dining room, and similar areas. This requirement ensures that there is sufficient power available for multiple appliances without overloading the circuits. Fifthly, GFCI protection. All receptacle outlets serving kitchen countertops must be ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protected. GFCI protection is critical in kitchens where water and electricity are often in close proximity. A GFCI detects ground faults and quickly cuts off power to prevent electrical shock. Sixthly, appliance garages and similar spaces. If an appliance garage or similar enclosed space is installed above the countertop, receptacle outlets within that space must also comply with NEC requirements. These outlets should be readily accessible and GFCI protected. Seventhly, exceptions. There are some exceptions to these rules, such as receptacles that serve dedicated appliances like refrigerators or dishwashers. These appliances typically have their own dedicated circuits and may not be subject to the same spacing requirements as countertop receptacles. Eighthly, height requirements. The height at which receptacles are installed above the countertop is generally not explicitly specified by the NEC, but the common practice is to install them around 6 to 8 inches above the countertop. This height provides easy access while keeping them out of the way of typical countertop activities. Ninthly, local amendments. It's important to note that local jurisdictions may have amendments to the NEC that modify or add to these requirements. Always check with your local building department to ensure compliance with local codes. Tenthly, tamper-resistant receptacles. The NEC requires tamper-resistant receptacles, or TRRs, in dwelling units. TRR have internal shutters that prevent the insertion of foreign objects, providing an additional layer of safety, especially in homes with children. For multi-outlet assemblies, so-called power strips, when installed, should be considered as an extension of the countertop surface and should comply with the spacing requirements outlined in the NEC. However, they should not be used as a substitute for permanent receptacle outlets. These multi-outlet assemblies must be fed from small appliance branch circuits, and they must be GFCI protected. Now let's talk about dedicated circuits. Some appliances, such as refrigerators, microwave ovens, and dishwashers, typically require dedicated circuits. These circuits should not serve other outlets to prevent overloading and ensure reliable operation of the appliances. Here's a summary of the common mistakes to avoid. Firstly, inadequate spacing, failing to provide adequate receptacle spacing along the countertop. Remember the 4-foot rule. Secondly, lack of GFCI protection, not providing GFCI protection for all countertop receptacles. Thirdly, overloading circuits, connecting too many appliances to a single circuit, causing it to overload. Fourthly, improper wiring, using improper wiring methods or materials, which can create fire hazards. Fifthly, neglecting local codes, ignoring local amendments to the NEC that may have more stringent requirements. Regularly inspect receptacle outlets and wiring to ensure they are in good condition. Replace any damaged or worn outlets and address any wiring issues promptly. Also, use properly rated extension cords. Use extension cords only when necessary and make sure they are rated for the intended use. Do not overload extension cords and never run them under rugs or furniture. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to install or repair receptacle outlets and wiring. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take precautions to avoid electrical shock and fire hazards. The NEC requirements for kitchen receptacle placement are designed to provide a safe and convenient electrical system. By following these guidelines and consulting with a qualified electrician when needed, you can ensure that your kitchen electrical system meets code and provides reliable power for all your appliances and equipment. The information provided here is a general overview and may not cover all specific situations. Always refer to the latest edition of the NEC and consult with a qualified electrician for detailed guidance on kitchen receptacle placement. Now, let's delve deeper into some specific scenarios and additional considerations for kitchen receptacle placement according to the NEC, and how these guidelines ensure both safety and convenience in residential kitchens. Firstly, corner countertop spaces. When dealing with corner countertop spaces, the NEC requires that a receptacle outlet be placed within 2 feet of the corner. This ensures that no point along the countertop is more than 2 feet from a receptacle, even in corner areas. Secondly, obstructions. If a countertop is obstructed by a range, refrigerator, or sink, the area behind the obstruction is not considered part of the usable countertop space, and therefore receptacle outlets are not required in that area. However, it is essential to provide receptacle outlets on either side of the obstruction to serve the remaining countertop spaces. Thirdly, islands with raised backsplashes. For island countertops with raised backsplashes, receptacle outlets should be installed above the backsplash, provided they are within 20 inches of the countertop surface. This allows for easy access to power while keeping the outlets out of the way of water and debris. Fourthly, peninsular countertops with no wall behind. If a peninsular countertop has no wall behind it, receptacle outlets should be installed on the countertop surface. These outlets should be GFCI protected and located in a way that minimizes the risk of damage from water or other hazards. Fifthly, multi-level countertops. For multi-level countertops, receptacle outlets should be installed on each level of the countertop if each level is considered a usable countertop space. The outlet should be placed within 20 inches of the countertop surface. Sixthly, modifications and alterations. When remodeling or altering a kitchen, it is essential to bring the existing electrical system up to current NEC standards. This may involve adding new receptacle outlets, upgrading wiring, and providing GFCI protection. Seventhly, temporary power taps. Temporary power taps or power strips should not be used as a substitute for permanent receptacle outlets. These devices should only be used for temporary power needs and should be unplugged when not in use. Eighthly, maintenance and upkeep. Regularly inspect receptacle outlets and wiring for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn outlets and address any wiring issues promptly. Ninthly, consulting with a qualified electrician. When in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician for guidance on kitchen receptacle placement. An electrician can assess your specific needs and ensure that your electrical system meets code and provides safe and reliable power. Tenthly, future-proofing. When planning your kitchen electrical system, consider future needs and potential appliance upgrades. It may be wise to install additional receptacle outlets and circuits to accommodate future power requirements. Here is a review of some additional safety tips. Firstly, avoid overloading circuits. Do not connect too many appliances to a single circuit. This can cause the circuit to overload and trip the breaker, which can be inconvenient and potentially dangerous. Secondly, use surge protectors. Use surge protectors to protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage spikes and surges. Surge protectors can help prevent damage to your appliances and electronics. Thirdly, avoid using damaged cords. Do not use appliances or extension cords with damaged insulation or exposed wires. These can create a risk of electrical shock or fire. Fourthly, keep electrical outlets dry. Keep electrical outlets and appliances dry to prevent electrical shock. Avoid using electrical appliances near water, and never touch electrical outlets or appliances with wet hands. Fifthly, unplug appliances when not in use. Unplug appliances when not in use to conserve energy and reduce the risk of electrical shock or fire. This is especially important for appliances that are not used regularly, such as toasters and blenders. Sixthly, install smoke detectors. Install smoke detectors in your kitchen and throughout your home to provide early warning of a fire. Test your smoke detectors regularly to ensure they are working properly. Seventhly, have a fire extinguisher. Keep a fire extinguisher in your kitchen and know how to use it. A fire extinguisher can help you put out a small fire before it spreads. Eighthly, educate children about electrical safety. Teach children about the dangers of electricity and how to use electrical appliances safely. Make sure they understand the importance of keeping electrical outlets and appliances dry. Ninthly, stay informed about electrical safety. Stay informed about electrical safety and the latest NEC requirements. This will help you make informed decisions about your electrical system and ensure that it is safe and up to code. Tenthly, always use a qualified electrician. When working with electricity, always use a qualified electrician. An electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to safely and effectively install and repair electrical systems. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take precautions to avoid electrical shock and fire hazards. The information provided here is a general overview and may not cover all specific situations. Always refer to the latest edition of the NEC and consult with a qualified electrician for detailed guidance on kitchen receptacle placement and electrical safety. Remember, local codes and regulations may vary, so it's essential to check with your local building department to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. A well-planned and properly installed kitchen electrical system is essential for safety and convenience. By following the NEC guidelines and taking the necessary precautions, you can ensure that your kitchen electrical system meets code and provides reliable power for all your appliances and equipment.